Good evening, everybody. I hope you're all doing well. I hope you're all having a wonderful, wonderful evening. Listen, welcome back to the Blind Gooner, and thank you, everybody, for tuning in. And I'm going to be doing a review of the Liverpool Arsenal game. Listen, unfortunately, I'm going to be solo this evening, so yeah, you get to listen to my dulcet tones for the next half an hour or so. Listen, I am going to read out some of your chats. I am going to read out some of your chats very, very shortly. But I just want to tell you about a couple of things first and foremost. Is that I am going to be doing a watch along for the Brighton Man United game tomorrow on this channel. So do check that out. Would really, really appreciate it. Also, on Sunday, I'm going to be doing a watch along for the Chelsea Arsenal Sheffield game, which is at 2 p.m. And then Thursday as well, doing a watch along for the Liverpool Arsenal game in the Carabao Cup. Those streams are already set up, so please do go and slap a like on all those videos. We really appreciate it. I was going to do Chelsea Crystal Palace, but I realised I'd double booked myself, and I'm actually going to see my daughter. So unfortunately, I'm not going to be going to see. I'm not going to be covering that game. But yeah, it is what it is. Big up everybody in the chat. I will get to your chats very shortly. But anyway, let's kick off and let's get into this review. Now, yesterday, I went into this game with high hopes. And the reason I went into this game with high hopes is because recently against Liverpool in the league and in the Community Shield, we played okay against them. You know, we'd done all right. So I went into this game thinking that we could at least get a draw out of this game. And when the teams came out, questions immediately sprung to my mind. And the first one being is that where's Gabriel? Why aren't you playing Gabriel in this game? You brought him in. You say that he has defensive qualities that we're lacking in the defensive areas. And then in the middle of the season, or just at the beginning of the season, sorry, and in a high-profile game against Liverpool, you bench him. And I don't get it. I don't get it. Why are you benching him? So that was the first thing. Second thing, El Neni in the team. Why are you playing El Neni? The guy is useless. The guy is crap. And you're putting him next to Granit Xhaka, who neither of them are very good defensively. No creativity in that midfield whatsoever. You should have put Ceballos in there. So, again, two things right from the off with me. With the team lineup, those were the two questions that I questioned Arteta on. And then we go into the game. And I'll tell you what, for fuck's sake, we played absolutely dreadful. Absolutely awful. The players weren't at the races. Leno, I'll tell you what, Jesus Christ, that guy can't even catch a football. He just palms it out into the middle of, into the danger area. When you got players like Salah, Mane, and Firmino, they're going to get on that straight away. You're punching it right into that danger zone. And then David Luiz, what can I say about David Luiz? Just fucking calamitous mistakes all the time. All the time. So Bellerin as well, he was another guy who had an absolute shit performance. And we just weren't at the races. I don't know what it is. Like, Lacazette scored that lucky goal. But the first half, we were absolutely shocking. Absolutely shocking. And I don't understand why why we were like that. You know, it's a big game against Liverpool in the league, and we just struggled. I don't get it. The players just didn't seem to like bother. Second half, we were kind of a little bit better, but not much better. Let's be honest. You know, our set pieces were crap. Pepe, when he come on, did absolutely nothing. He can't even hit a ball past the first man. And it bothers me. It bothers me. It really does. You know, players not giving 100% effort in games like this. It bothers me. You know, Willian, again, was poor. Absolutely poor, did nothing in the game. Aubameyang was non-existent. Okay, granted, some people may say that he didn't have the service, but he was non-existent. Absolutely non-existent. So I don't know, like, I sort of calmed down a little bit since last night, because last night I was just absolutely fuming. I went to bed fuming, and I just was lying in bed thinking, Jesus Christ, the same old story yet again. And that's what we see all the time with Arsenal. Listen, during the game, you know, I was optimistic. You know, at half time, like when you guys in the chat were saying, "Oh, but you know, Dan, we're playing poorly," and I was optimistic because you know we were still only 2-1 down. You know, so we were, you know, we could have easily got back into it. And then obviously Lacazette had that chance and fucking missed it. You know, the guy should do better than that. You know, Lacazette, he just hit it straight at Alisson and just made it really, really easy. But I'm just fed up. I'm fed up with these performances. Absolutely fed up with this performance. So yeah, listen, I'm not even going to bother rating the players, because to be quite honest with you, they're not going to get very high ratings. The one thing that did come out of last night is that our midfield massively needs improving. So we need a Partey, we need an OR, because at the moment, going forward, our midfield's like jelly. It really is. There's nothing to it. There's no substance to it defensively or offensively. So the board need to get their finger out and start putting some money into this club, because I'll tell you something now, until that happens, nothing's going to change. Until it happens, nothing's going to change. And I'm just pissed off, to be quite honest. I am. I'm not confident for Thursday, even though it is the Carabao Cup, you know, another tin pot trophy. I'm not confident. Not confident at all going into Thursday. You know, it's the same mistakes, and it's from the same players as well. You know, Bellerin, again, he just didn't look like he wanted to be there. I don't get it. I don't get it, guys. I honestly don't. You know, if you guys could tell me, if you guys could tell me what the answer is, I'd love to hear it, because at the moment I don't get it. I honestly don't. And you know, we've got 6 days of this transfer window to try and rectify it. Now, I'm not saying we're going to fix all our problems in one transfer window. I'm not saying that at all. But what I am saying is that this midfield needs drastically improving, because at the moment, you know, we're not getting anywhere. We're not getting anywhere. And if we have aspirations of getting into the top 4, we do need to massively fix this midfield. Big up to 7 people watching. Smash a like on this video. I'd really appreciate that. And like I said, do go and check out all my other content streams that are up there ready to go. Smash a like on those as well. I'd really appreciate that. But yeah, I don't get it, guys. I honestly don't. And if you could tell me what the answer is and where we go from here, because we do need drastically improving. We need drastically improving, and at the moment, it's not happening. It is really not happening. You know, we had the perfect chance to get something out of that game. You know, if Laka had scored that chance, would have been a completely different game. Completely different game if he'd had scored it. And that's the problem with Lacazette, is that he'll score. I know he scored in the last 3 games, but he doesn't take enough of his opportunities for me. He doesn't take enough of them. And a striker of his caliber, especially in that kind of situation, you expect him to hit the target. And he didn't. He just put it straight at Alisson, and it just turned out to be meat and drink to a goalkeeper like Alisson. You know, Aubameyang, again, I know a lot of people will say that he didn't get the service last night. But if you're world class, you make things happen. And I don't think I saw anything last night to suggest that Aubameyang was looking to make things happen. And that's the problem. And another problem as well is Pepe. Pepe is becoming a big problem because he's not performing. You know, we spent 72 fucking million on the guy, and he can't even cross a ball. You know, he can't even hit the first man. Can't even get it past the first man. We got Bellerin as well, who can't even take a throw in properly. Jesus Christ, man! I tell you what, we vastly need improving. Now, I know we're not going to fix all these in one window, but it's a mess. And you know, yesterday I was, you know, during the game I was confident. I was a little bit optimistic, even at half time when we were 2-1 down, because 1 goal down, you can still get back into it. I know Liverpool are on fire at the moment and they've got a good record at Anfield. But having said that, we still could have done better. We've beaten them, so there's no excuses. In my opinion, there's no excuse. We've beaten them before. It's just these players turn off. And I've said it for time as well, guys, right? I have said for time and time that you put pressure on these group of players, they fail. You take the pressure off, they turn into a prime Barcelona. Now, I know a lot of people and a lot of you guys there are going to be like, oh, but they performed in the FA Cup semi-final. They performed in the final. Completely different. Anyone can win the FA Cup. Anyone can win the FA Cup. It's easy. If anybody applies themselves correctly, anyone can win the FA Cup. But the league is totally different. I'm not saying that had we had won that game, we would have gone on to win the league. Absolutely not. But if we'd have beaten Liverpool or even got a point, right, it would have been an improvement. And you can sort of see, yeah, maybe we're starting to turn a corner. But it's these players that just keep bottling it. These players, and I've said for time, when people were on about changing Arteta and, you know, on about changing Unai Emery and stuff, I said, it's all well and good, right? You can change the manager. You can keep changing the manager. But if you're going to give him the same group of players, that you're going to get the same result. Now, I'm not saying in any which way, shape or form that we need to change the manager, because listen, Arteta got a few things wrong last night. I'm not saying that. So anybody coming into the stream and just hearing me talking about changing the manager, I'm just putting it into context of where we are as a club and that. But what I'm saying to you is, like, when we had all this issue with Unai Emery, I said the problem is that it's the players, not the manager. Now, obviously, when we had Unai Emery, it was a kind of bit of Unai Emery's fault. But again, these players are to blame. These players are to blame. Not all of them, not all of them, but a majority of them, because they they just go back into their old ways. I look at yesterday's game and I think that they went back into their old ways a little bit. You know, they kind of didn't look like they had any direction under Arteta, which is complete bollocks because Arteta's, you know, over the last couple of weeks got them playing decently. But I think part of the problem last night is that they were nervous because they know that they haven't got a good track record at Anfield. And another part of the problem is they just didn't perform and inconsistent. And this is why I get on people's cases when they say things like, "Oh yeah, but we need to keep El Neni because he's had 3 or 4 good games." And I'm like, doesn't matter. Still doesn't make him good enough for this team. El Neni will never be good enough for this football club if we have aspirations of getting into the top 4 and then beyond that once we've achieved that. But a lot of Arsenal fans have sentimental value to a lot of this deadwood, and that needs to change. You know, it does. It needs to change. A lot of people have sentimental value, you know, against the players. Look at Ozil, for Christ's sake. Half of this fan base would fucking cry themselves to sleep when Ozil leaves. Do you know what I mean? It's mad. It is total mad. We've got owners who don't spend any money. Don't spend any money. And that's really frustrating. Really, really frustrating. Because do you know the thing is, right? If the board spent, let me work this out. If the board spend about 90 million, maybe even more than that, maybe 100 million, right? We could get both Partey and Aouar, which would massively transform the midfield. It wouldn't fix all our problems, but it would be a statement. But are they going to do that? No, they're not. There's no evidence today, like another day is passing by, and there's no evidence of Arsenal doing anything. So then that brings into 5 days to go. And also the Leon presidents come out and said that if we want Aouar, we've got to do it by Friday. Now I know like the Leon president is a hard guy to deal with, and he says things all the time. Listen, when we tried to get Lacazette from them, it was absolutely mad. Absolutely mad. The mind games that guy played, and then we ended up getting him. But it's just worrying. It's worrying, and it's every single fucking year. I just don't see why they can't stump up the money. I know, like, you know, every club's struggling with COVID-19 and all that, but it's just mad. It's just utter madness that they can't just stump up the money. And you go and read that guy Swiss Ramble, and you see that Arsenal's owners have put 0 money into the club over the last 5 or 6 years, and we're one of the only clubs to have done that. I think we might be the only club that the owners haven't put into, which is mad, which is utter mad. How do you? I will get my words out eventually. How are you going to have a successful team, and how are you going to turn things around if you're not even going to put money into us? Like, loan us back, loan us the money, and then have some sort of arrangement where the club pays it back depending on the success we get in. You could do it that way, but these cronkies just don't care. These cronkies just don't absolutely care. And last night, you know, unfortunately, we're going to see more performances like last night until key areas are addressed. And I don't necessarily blame Arteta, because I think he does want to address these key areas. But his hands are tied, isn't he? You know, he can only do so much. Where I do criticise Arteta, and I said this earlier in the stream, is that he should have put Gabriel in the team. You know, you brought a kid in to improve us defensively, and yet you're going to bench him. I kind of don't get that one. Maybe you guys can shed some light on that. Listen, I've been talking for the best part of 20 minutes and I've been rambling on. So I'm going to get into some of your chats. And I'm going to read out some of your comments. So let me scroll down here. Big up, Omar. Yeah, listen, I am currently going to be behind in the chat, so give me a chance, and I will read them out. Big up, Omar. French football news said Arsenal are terrible. We are at the moment, mate. We are at the moment. I wouldn't say we're terrible, but I don't know. It's just infuriating. Big up Ilias. Big up Khan. Khan, you actually spelt my name right. Big up to you. Khan says, I think Arteta plays Luiz because of experience. That may be true, Khan. That may be true. But you're never going to improve a guy like David Luiz. And this is the thing, right? I would rather him play Gabriel and Saliba. And yes, those guys are going to make mistakes. Of course they are. They're going to make tons of mistakes. But at least you can coach them. At least you can coach them and develop them. You're going to tell me that you're going to try and change a guy who's, 31, 32, to change the way he defends. Because I'll tell you something now, it ain't happening. And I'd rather see the mistakes from Gabriel and Saliba because at least you know that they're going to be developed. You know, at least they know they're going to be developed. But David Luiz, you're not going to change him. You are not going to change him. So why try? Why try? Where am I with these comments? Omar says shambles, pathetic, embarrassing. Exactly, mate. Exactly. Ilya said some of our players were awful. Exactly. Omar says Gabriel plays well in the opening fixtures and his reward is to be benched. Exactly. I don't get that. That's where I do question Arteta. French football news. Do hit the subscribe button, guys, if you're new to the channel, and do smash the like button. Really appreciate that. Grant says we're beginning to see why free managers didn't want Pepe. No, we're beginning to see why free managers didn't start Pepe. I never wanted him. I wanted Lozano when he was at PSV. Thing is, right, Pepe was good in France. But like I keep saying to people, that the French league is completely different to the Premier League. The Premier League's more physically intense. And I just don't think Pepe suits the Premier League. You know, you put him in the Bundesliga and he would probably thrive. You know, you look at Kai Havertz and Werner, they're not exactly at the best of starts, you know, for Chelsea. And I think they're going to struggle as well because they're not going to have the time and space on the ball as they are in these other leagues, because the Premier League don't give you that. Every week there's a different challenge. And I think Pepe is a good player. I just don't think he suits the Premier League. And I just think he's one of those players that don't fit our style. I don't think he fits our style. He just looks out of place at us. He just looks out of place. Big up the Mr. Arsenal podcast. Ryan. Big up to you, Tim. Ryan says Thiago's tested positive for COVID-19. Well, that doesn't surprise me. Big up, John. Let's have a look here. Big up, Simpy. Finally in the stream. Big up, Simpy. Grant says nothing will change because the board and owner have zero ambition. Exactly. And that needs to change. Bin Joey, big up to you. Ryan says we need more creativity in midfield. John says if you take Aubameyang out our team, we wouldn't even be a top 10 team. I agree, but where was he last night? I know people are going to say because he didn't get the service, but you know, I just think he needs to do better. Big up Khan. Yeah, I agree with you. So he says Sabaya should have started with missed creativity and he would have brought it to the midfield. I agree. You can't play Granit Xhaka and El Neni in the same team. John says, I want to know why Rob Holding still plays for us. Yeah, another guy who was awful last night. Absolutely awful. Big up to you, Michael. Hope you're well. Holding played well yesterday. Bellerin was the cause of the main goal. Switch off. Maybe. Bellerin just can't even throw a ball. So Michael's a new sub here. Thank you very much for subscribing, Michael. Thank you very, very much. Like I say, guys, I am a little bit behind in the chat. So if you're wondering why I'm taking a bit of time, I'm just getting through and making sure I read all your comments out. Tyrone said if the board doesn't back Arteta, he will be sacked in February. I don't think so. I don't think they'll sack him in February. I don't think they'll back him, but I don't think they'll sack him either. John's saying we need 2 centre-halves and 2 midfielders. Yeah, we also need to get rid of a lot of our centre-halves as well because we've got about 8 centre-halves and none of them are very good. Big up to Liam Talks Football. Michael says, problem is we don't have a plan. We brought Gabriel to play in these type of games. But he benched him. I still believe in Arteta. We need to fix problems. Yeah, I agree. He should have been on the pitch last night though. Gabriel should have been starting. You know, yes, he might made a few mistakes, but like I say, you can coach that out of him. Have a look. Liam says French league is not physical. I agree. Liam says, look at Thiago Silva. Look how he played against West Brom. Yeah, I agree. Struggled. Mind you, he is like, what is it? 30, he's 35 now or something, isn't he, Thiago Silva? So you expect him to struggle. Liam says close to 1.1k. Yeah, so am I, mate. I'd love to hit that. I'd love to hit that by the end of this week. So yeah, do subscribe if you're new to the channel, guys. I'd really appreciate it. Big up Jamie Stephen. Big up. Liam says apparently party deal is off. Doesn't surprise me, mate, because this border incompetent. Grant says a professional footballer who can't throw a ball sums up the club. Exactly, mate. And Bellerin cares more about his fashion than he does this fucking club. Big up Hayden. Do smash the likes, everybody. Smash the likes, smash the subscribe button. Have a look. So yeah, not great, is it? Not great at all. Not great at all. So yeah, it's just one of them, isn't it? We have to take it on the chin, move on to the next result, and you know, we just play it by ear, don't we? Play it by ear. We've got 6 days, well, 5 now because today's nearly over. 5 days to do something drastic. And listen, I can't see the board doing it. Can't see the board doing it. So, you know, what do we do? It's just the same shit's going to happen again. And that was my worry. Listen, I never had a doubt about Arteta. You know, maybe at the start when he got first linked to the job, I was questioning him, thinking, actually, we need somebody with more experience. But then looking at the situation now, it doesn't matter whether you get somebody more experienced because the board aren't going to back him. So it's pointless. This board are the problem. This board and these owners are the problem. You know, and that's the biggest problem at this club. It's the absolute biggest problem at this club. And I don't see it changing anytime soon. Don't see it changing. Don't see it changing. And it's just infuriating. It's infuriating. It's, I don't know. I've got no answers for it, guys. Got no answers for it, and if nothing else, it's just pissing me off. Pissing me off even more that this is happening. You know, time and time again, this happens all the fucking time. All the fucking time. You know, when you think we're making progress, then we're always one thing short. If it's not the defense that needs fixing, we're an attacker short. You know, we're out of strikers. And if it's not that needs fixing, it's the defense. And it's just a never-ending cycle. When is it going to end? When is it going to change? You know, I like to refer to Arsenal and to refer to us as the nearly team. Nearly. We're just on the cusp of doing something brilliant, and then we're just held back. And I honestly think it's the board that holds us back. You know, I honestly do. I honestly think it's the board that holds us back. And until that changes, nothing's going to change at this club. Nothing whatsoever. And it's, I don't know, guys. I don't know. It just pisses me off. It, you know, it absolutely pisses me off. And what do? We just have to move on to the next game. And hey presto, the next game is against Liverpool. Oh, Jesus Christ. We're going to be sick of the sight of Liverpool at the end of this week, aren't we? We're going to be absolutely sick of the sight of Liverpool. But listen, it is what it is. Listen, guys, thank you everybody for tuning in. I just want to tell you a couple of things before I get myself out of here. And that one is that on Monday daytime from 9:30 in the morning, I'm going to be streaming all day long. So from 9:30 right through until the transfer window closes, I'm going to be streaming. Listen, I've got some guests on. I've also got Kevin Campbell coming on during the day. I've not confirmed what time he's coming on yet because I'm still trying to work out the logistics of that, and I'm sort of trying to organize the structure of the show. And I've got other guests coming on too. So yeah, do check that out from 9:30 next Monday morning, going right through until the deadline closes, until the transfer window closes. Is it going to be an exciting one for Arsenal, or is it going to be one of them where we do nothing? We just have to wait and see. But yeah, do check that out. Also tomorrow, I've got the watch along of the Brighton Man United game. Be interesting to see whether Brighton get some revenge for what happened at the weekend. Listen, Brighton were robbed, absolutely robbed of a point. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. Then on Thursday, I've got the watch along for the Liverpool Arsenal game. So all do stop by. I think my guests for that are going to be Simpy and John again. So yeah, do join in for that one. Then on Sunday, Arsenal Sheffield, doing a watch along for that game as well. That kicks off at 2 p.m. That stream isn't up yet, but all the others are. Oh, and the deadline one isn't up yet, but all the others are. The watch alongs are up there, so please do go and stick a like on those videos. Also, please do share the content around and do share the channel around. I really, really, you guys are a big part at the moment in getting the word out about this channel and sharing it, and share it to all your platforms and tell all your friends about it. And yeah, I would really appreciate that. Do hit the subscribe button as well if you are new to the channel, and do keep smashing the like button. And yeah, listen, it wasn't a great result yesterday, but here's for better results. And listen, we're still, by no means, we're still in the top 4 race. So, listen, 3rd game into the season, but it is what it is. It's just frustrating. It's just frustrating. But listen, guys, thank you to everyone who's tuned in. Oh, I am going to be on Simpy's channel later as well for the Chelsea-Tottenham game. So do check that out. I'm going to be over there as well. But yeah, it is what it is, guys, with this Arsenal thing. We just have to wait and see what happens. There's 5 days to go. Stan Kroenke, pull your finger out. Take care, guys.